What up, 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 what up? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Don and Rod. We in the building again. It's Brooklyn Bears and Ball Sports Show. We back at it, like always, still talking about this crazy NFL season. Oh, man, listen, so much to talk about. 49ers did their thing. We saw the Thanksgiving Day games. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys did their things. We saw some crazy stuff this past weekend. We're going to talk about the lucky Eagles win in Philadelphia, of course. You know what I'm saying? Hating on them stinking Philadelphia Feebles. But nevertheless, man, we're going to talk about it all. We got it on deck for y'all today. But it's Rod and Don. And listen, we appreciate the love on Facebook. We appreciate the love on YouTube. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Hit that little like button on YouTube for the YouTube followers out there. Get that notification up. Every time we go live, you'll see us in the building with reels and everything concerning Brooklyn Bears and Ball. So we in the building, man. We ready to do another show. Ready to rock for y'all today, man. What's going on, Big D?
Oh, man, week 12 was really good. Good week 12. Some good football, some highs, some lows, some close calls. But week 13, man, I am super excited about week 13. But this is a recap show of week 12. So without further ado, man, let's get into it. Oh, man, week 12. Now, this was a really good week because there were no teams on a bye, right? And so you had, if you played fantasy football, you had your full complement of players. Week 13, there's 6 teams on a bye. Some teams that you don't really care about, but some teams that potentially are, your fan base, depending on what team, like Baltimore. There's some teams that are on a bye that, you might be concerned with. But overall, I think week 12, because usually all the games are on Sunday, it was expanded. It was stretched out. There was a good slate of Thanksgiving games. They had the first ever Black Friday game. And then, of course, the regular slate of Sunday games. But we're going to do a quick recap of all the week 12 games that happened prior to Sunday. And then we'll get into how lucky can one man be, right? I think this is, let's start off with Green Bay and Detroit. Now, for the NFC, there's really 4 to 5 teams that everyone thinks could really make a deep run into the playoffs. And of course, Detroit being one of the teams. They've been highly impressive. They've had some, finally, I recently watched the documentary of Barry Sanders and just going and so it was very interesting documentary, just seeing how, Barry Sanders, how his persona, how he was always low key. He wasn't for a lot of fanfare. And, even though he was a superstar, the team couldn't get over the hump. And then when they started to win, something would happen, and then unfortunately they started trading away players, and then Barry, I guess he was just like, the love, the passion just wasn't there anymore. That's what I got from it. And he was just like, yo, enough is enough. Let me roll out. And I mean, one thing I'll say about that, he would take himself out of games not to break records. Like when records were 9 yards away from the rushing title, he would just be like, nah, let the young people, the game is won. He is, if you looked in the dictionary as the person, act like you've been there before, that's Barry Sanders. He never did any dances to my knowledge. He always just gave the ball to the ref and jogged back to the bench. So very, very good documentary. If anyone wants or need, really, it's, if a football fan, especially knowing, how great Barry Sanders was in his career, I think that was a great game. So back to present day Detroit. Really good team. They have a good defense, right? Young defense. I think they knocked it out of the park in their draft. Of course, they have a great tight end. Of course, the receivers. And Jared Goff, second time around, sometimes it is good second time around. He was with LA, didn't work out, and got to a Super Bowl, but it didn't work out. Now coming to Detroit. And sometimes when people different teams try to throw dirt on your name and make it seem like you're just a bust, because remember, he was a high draft pick. So clearly he had something. He had some skills.
Right.
But look at Detroit today. I mean, I think they're doing well. If I had to put them in the tiers of the teams that everyone expects to represent the NFC, they probably would be fourth on my book. You know, I would have obviously the 49ers first. It could be a toss-up between the Eagles and Cowboys, 2, and then whoever is not 2, then of course Detroit will come in. But of course, I think they're going to win their division. Even though they lost to Green Bay, they're going to win their division. But they're a good team. They're a good team. You just can't let them. They are great at home. They're great at home. Mm-hmm. You just can't let Jared Goff get comfortable. If he does, then there's a problem. What do you say?
Right. No, I agree. I think Detroit is a very good team. I mean, obviously, they have exceeded because of where they've been in just, you know, in complete moribundville for the last, whatever it's been, 30 years, pretty much. You know what I'm trying to say?
Scraps in the building.
Scraps in the building, y'all. He is in the bird flu. Yeah, I had a lot, and it's not going to get cured. But I tell you what, I got my healing coming next week and the week after. So trust me. All right, the antidote is San Francisco, Dallas, because y'all about to take back-to-back L's. But anyway, we're going to save it when we get you on here, Scrap. We got a whole lot to talk about, bro. You know, a whole lot. But listen, but Detroit, basically, this is how I look at Detroit, right, Dean? I think you already alluded to this. Look, they've been a bad franchise, right? For the last, since Barry Sanders, right? Who's arguably the best player, if not without question, the best player ever in that team's franchise history. But because of what they've been able to do, this was the year where they had to prove to everyone that they were not the fluke. They started out 1-6 last year. Then all of a sudden, boom, right? They had a string of wins, and here we are, right? It was like, man, a good team. And now let's see if they can do it again. And they have, and they've proven that. They're not in the upper echelon of the teams in the NFC East or the NFL. I don't think that they are a team that you would consider to be a Super Bowl contender, but they are a very good team. And so they should not be taken lightly. Come playoff time, you know, that could be a tough out for somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, Scrap. They overachieved. But now I think we're seeing them in the sense where they overachieve, right? But now I think we could start looking at them to expect certain wins. I don't think we're there right yet, but we could start to expect Detroit to win, right? We could start putting some expectation on them, because now they're coming from the overachievers to now being a team that they are who they are. They are a really good team, right? You know, they got young guys, young pieces. They, you know, young coach and very demonstrative coach. And so I think we're going to see a lot of good football from Detroit. Now, again, you know, the struggle against Chicago last week, the bad loss on Thanksgiving to Green Bay, divisional games, right? And that's the whole point I'm trying to make. There's still a team that when they lose games like this, you're still going to say it's Detroit, right? They're not there yet, but they have overcome a lot of the putrid play that we've seen them have down through the years. They're not your grandmother's lines anymore, if I can just word it that way. So now they're much better. So yeah, so at some point, but we'll have some more expectation out of them. But for now, they're just a good team, not a Super Bowl contender, but a good team. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So I'm sure we're gonna, recap Washington and the Cowboys. Listen, they dominated. It was a good win, but it's a team that is subservient. It's a team that you should dominate, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I was looking for the Magic Johnson tweet. That was a spirited win, and it never came. It just never happened.
Never came.
Magic Johnson tweets a lot. I mean, he's tweeting.
He does.
I mean,
that's his thing.
So we know that Magic Johnson and overall is a winner, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And everything he touches seems to turn to gold. So I think that Washington, they're going to make some major moves in the offseason.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that they got rid of some key players, because Sweat and of course, we benefited from Young. So But I think they have something in Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell is actually, I mean, when you say franchise quarterback, we use that loosely. I'm saying he is something that they can go the next 4 years with and stack around him, right? Because the key to winning, and we're going to see in February, the key to winning is not having an overpriced quarterback, having the team around them, and then of course you can build that team and you're not paying, because the quarterback is usually the biggest part of a team's cap, right? The way the cap is going. So I think that they can use the fact that they're not paying him much money, build a good team around him. The coach is gone, right? Ron Rivera, they're going to take him out back somewhere. So Ron Rivera is done, but at the same time, they got pieces. They got receivers. They got some running backs. Sam Howell's good. Tight end is okay. So you guys beat up on him, as you should. I think that everyone is ready to hoist Dak on their shoulders as being the MVP. But I'm like, hey, slow your roll. You ain't played nobody yet.
Well, he ain't on my shoulders for that. No, not yet. Yeah.
So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. As far as I'm concerned, if Dak plays the way he's been playing, and of course, it takes the 49ers. We are igniters, right? We just strike. So everybody always says, oh, man,
I agree.
That was the slap in the face that they needed, and they got right. And now they've been winning. They've been on a stretch, and Dak's numbers have been unworldly, right? So that's great. But week 14 is when we need to see that Dak again. That's the next time his performance, the way he's been playing, will really matter. And time will tell if that happens. Now, he does benefit for the fact that we're going to pretty much brine and tenderize who he would have to play the week prior. So he may be able to just finish the job. But believe it, week 13 is going to be a statement game. And I don't want to get on to week 13 because our next show, we're going to have Scrap, and he is our resident everything Philly fan. So we're going to really delve into it. But I will say this. Understand that a team that has only lost one game is an underdog at home. I love it. Because everybody, and so we'll break down to what Vegas is trying to get people to do and what actually is going to happen. But we're not going to go into that. What do you say about the Dallas victory?
Basically, look, Dallas is beating the teams that they need to beat. That's an inferior team. I also love what Dak has said, even today, or yesterday rather, how he was saying, look, I haven't done anything. Of course, he had an expletive to better describe the fact that he hasn't accomplished anything. And he made that very clear. He's very, very aware of the fact that, as you stated, it's week 14. It's week 18, right? Which is the playoffs. That's when it counts. Dak knows that regular season accolades, that's, he's immune to that now. I mean, he's won a rookie of the year. He's won a few playoff games. He's got NFC East championships, if you will. All that, and Dak. So Dak has had an accomplished career. He's got a very good winning percentage as a starting quarterback in this league. But at the end of the day, right, he's got to, if he's going to be that dude and you're going to put him alongside some of the other greats that have done it, that's what Dak needs to do. Dak has got to at least get in the NFC Championship. Dak has got to at least see a Super Bowl before his career is out. Dak has got to be, and ultimately what you want, if you're a Cowboy fan, you want him to win. And I think Dallas can win with Dak. I think, like you said, and I respect that. The Niner game, that loss was the best thing that could have happened to us. In the way in which we lost, in fact, it woke us up. The way our offense has changed, the way we have done things offensively, schematically, and not just Dak. I'm talking about everybody. CD went on his tear. We seen Pollard in the last couple of weeks running like a madman. You know what I'm trying to say? And yeah, you're going to see that's him calling the play, getting the audible in because he's getting ready to throw a strike, all right, to Ferguson. That's what he's saying. Ferguson? What do we want? Ferguson, CD. Which one? Yes, that's it. And that's how Bradbury is going to look in a couple of weeks. That face Jordan just made. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, there's some banter obviously between, Debo, and he called out Bradbury last year, said he's trash, which he is. You know what they need to do when somebody scores against the Eagles secondary? Know what type of celebration I would have? I would just act like I'm picking up litter and throwing it into the trash. I'd just be like this. And just clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how garbage that secondary is. But I know we're going to get into it. I'm trying to refrain, D. Trying to refrain.
It's tough. It's
tough. So basically,
especially when Scrap already in the
when
comments.
Scrap don't give you no time. He don't let you breathe. He don't give you a moment to even. So so when he bring it, you just I say, you know what? Forget the niceties. I gotta come right out the gate now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I gotta come already in. But yeah, man. But let me say this though, D, real quick, because we talked about this before, and you talked about this, right? Winning a Super Bowl while your young quarterback is under a rookie deal. So again, Niners are looking at the same situation. You and I have talked about this before, that at some point decisions will be made because, Purdy's you're going to have to pay Purdy. Win or not, you're going to have to pay Purdy. And so he's proven to be the franchise quarterback for the 49ers. And
listen,
so the thing is, you want to try to win.
This is about Washington and Dallas. Please
you brought it up, and I just thought I'd just remind America of the conversations we've had. Because y'all are in the, you said ideally that's what you want to do when your quarterback is still cheap.
And so let me just let me rewind what I said and say it again. Brock Purdy, even if he wins the Super Bowl, even when we win the Super Bowl this year, he will not go from making $980,000 to being a $50 million quarterback a year. It will not happen. It's not going to happen. The team is not going to sacrifice its future and the ability to be a dynasty off of funneling all of our money and resources into smart quarterbacks. And I think Brock Purdy is smart. He understands you have to know who you are, right? And whose you are. Now, but he needs to know that at the end of the day, he is playing way, 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 way above his draft, right? But at the same time, what puts players into that great conversation, that all-time multiple Super Bowls, right? And having a team around you, if he's a team first guy, then I think he'll be smart enough to say, okay, I'm making $980,000, whatever it is. Okay, now I'm making $25-30 million a year. Okay, shake your head all you want.
Not happening.
Listen,
Purdy has all the leverage, D. If y'all win a Super Bowl, Purdy has all the leverage. He does. He does.
If we win the Super Bowl, when we win the Super Bowl, I think he will have the leverage. Yes, but he's not going to. At the end of the day, he is under contract. We're not going to do the foolishness that Dallas did and let somebody go.
Okay, so then what you're saying then is that and this is where it's failed. This is why Purdy's leverage is even without the Super Bowl, but Purdy's leverage is this much greater. Because even though he's under contract, right? Let's just say he holds out, right? And you guys get into the Super Bowl. He balls out, right? He's not the reason you lose. And then if you win the Super Bowl, he's got you into the Super Bowl and he plays well. If you don't pay him, D, what the 49er brass is saying is that, hey, we can manufacture another Purdy. But the truth is you can't. You've tried it already. You've done it with several quarterbacks and you have not succeeded. The 49ers have had a good team for the last, 5-6 years, but your quarterback play hasn't been great. And so you can't manufacture another Purdy. Purdy is that dude. It's Purdy.
I understand what you're saying.
So you're not going to, who else are going to get to replace him?
I understand what you're saying in theory. And the fact that we have made countless NFC championship games and Super Bowls, he's the reason why you get over the top though, right? I mean, in other words, 49ers getting into the NFC championship really is not a surprise thing. Like, in other words, that level of taking that position in your negotiations, if you're the 49er brass, does nothing because your team has already seen success at that level. Yeah, but that's a scarcity. Into a couple of Super Bowls. Scarcity mindset. We're a one-hitter quitter. That's a scarcity mindset.
He's the guy that takes you over the top.
Right. If you're thinking long term, you have to say to yourself and the team, What Kyle Shanahan has to do is think, what the ownership has to do, general manager has to do is think, hey, we have to make this team a viable championship team for years to come. We cannot cripple ourselves with cap. We're not going to do it.
Okay,
I'm
so here's the thing.
that they're not going to do that.
I'll tell you, they are going to do it. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why they're going to do it. Number one, if you offer Purdy a $30 million a year contract, when you got guys like Dak and Deshaun Watson and what's his name, Lamar, and I'm like, because Mahomes is over here, so we're not even talking about Mahomes, right? But you're gonna have you've got what's his name out in LA, the Chargers, okay? You got
Justin Herbert, right?
You got Justin Herbert. You got old boy in Jacksonville. These guys are 45, 50 at least. Right?
I know.
That's
what's the common denominator? All of them are going to be watching us in February.
But that's not what Purdy feels. Purdy is. Let me tell you something.
How do you know it? Now you know what Purdy feels.
Is not going to take. So you think Purdy is going to take $35 million a year? You really think he's going to take that? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I think he's going to take a team-friendly deal. He is not.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And if it does, it's going to be up. They're going to structure that contract in such a way that it's going to do some building. It's going to make Purdy happy now, but it's going to hurt y'all, and y'all going to get crippled later on down the line. You know, I didn't upload that money up front. You're going to take a lot of hits going down the line if you upload all that money now. I mean, it's a way to, in other words, they'll just kick the can down the road, but it's going to catch up.
That's what you're saying.
But there's no way a guy like Purdy, who has given y'all exactly what you need. Like, you could build all the team you want, but without the quarterback, it's not going to, there's no dynasty without a quarterback. No dynasty. It's going to be around Purdy. And Purdy, you're going to have to be. Now, what's going to happen is some guys, I tell you, let me ask you a question. Who do you think they would keep, Debo or Purdy?
Oh, if it comes to that.
Yeah, if it ever was to come to that.
They're going to keep Purdy, of course.
That's my point. So if Debo is considered, right, well, not maybe third best, not if CMC is there, right? But what I'm saying is that but that already lets you know, D, at some point, because CMC at some point, his value is going to start to go down, right? He's a running back. He's not going to be the CMC that we see now. You know, right. CMC
and that's all the more reason you're making my argument for me. That's all the more reason that they're going to use. That's like saying, well, LeBron wants $50 million a year. And I'm not comparing them, obviously. But what I'm saying is we're talking aging players. So LeBron wants $50 million a year. And because he wants that money, we're going to, now LeBron's body of work, certain things, they will try to keep him in place. They'll take the L on other players. Either some trades, you get some assets. Now, let's not get it twisted. We still have draft capital. We still have money. We're not cap poor, right?
Yeah.
Your team is cap poor. All of that talk, your team is cap
poor.
No,
actually, we're good on cap right now. No, we're good on cap right now. Dallas is good on cap. And they had to manage their cap because we've got Micah and CD to pay. So, and we'll get those deals done. Yeah.
So we have our core players are under contract, right? Our core players are under contract. And if you think that Brock Purdy is going to, they did lose. Good point.
Oh, yeah.
They lost by 3,000 points yesterday. So
maybe I shouldn't
bring up the Lakers.
We did.
Right.
But when you compare the Laker franchise to the Sixers franchise, and you compare LeBron to any player on the Sixers at this point, it's lights out. We're not even talking. So one game. So
and can I say this?
Sixers ain't winning nothing.
That is all of the celebratory time you're going to have in this time span. The 76ers beat the Lakers by 44 points. Cool.
They did.
The celebration will not extend into Sunday. It will not. There is going to be, listen. He's pulling us into this. All right,
he's good. Yeah, he's
we're not going to go. We're not going to go there with him. We're not going to go there with him.
Right.
Anything else about your Cowboys? Because it's actually Rod. You're just as guilty. You're talking about cap implications.
You brought it up.
With Sam Howell.
Right, but you're in the same situation.
We are not.
About it, though.
Washington is not making the playoffs. We are Super Bowl bound. So it is as far as the East is from the West, we are very far away from Sam Howell and Washington situation.
Well, but in terms of team performance, yes, but not in terms of the situation. In terms of being able to win while your quarterback is on a rookie deal,
but
right?
they have a lot of glaring holes. They
Right,
have a lot of needs.
Right, but you said generally in your statement while you were talking about the Commanders, you said generally it's a try to win, right? Do well while you have your quarterback under a cheap contract, right? Well, that's exactly what's happening with the Niners, right? They're doing what you would hope a team would do while their quarterback is still under a
my question
deal.
to you is, how many more years since I have to spell it out? How many more years can we technically use Brock Purdy as the cheap contract? We have years. It's not a Dak situation. It's not a Dak situation where you guys kick the can too much and then had to overpay. The Niners are not going to be crippled by the cap. We're going to use every resource possible to maximize the team that we have. That is a championship.
But at some point,
he's going to get paid. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's when you're going to have to make those tough decisions.
But he's not going to go from.
It's not now. It's in 2 years. He's only what's the second year, right? It's the second year. So even if y'all win a Super Bowl, I don't suspect he'll hold out after this year.
A Apple employees pay to now making $50 million a year. He's not going to do that. He's as much as you would want him to do that, and then kind of destroy
but why would he not? If y'all win a Super Bowl and then get to
when we win
to an
the
NFC
Super Bowl
championship next year,
he's not.
You mean to tell me Brock Purdy? But and after doing what Garoppolo couldn't do, and Smith and so many other quarterbacks, I can't remember some of the trash quarterbacks I had in between.
Tell me a quarterback,
and even Trey Young.
To me, give me an example of a quarterback who made under $1 million the first year and then jumped 35 or 40 million in the next year. Even with Dak, right? Dak took a really significant, after they so many times kicked the can, he took a significant pay jump, right? But it wasn't, he didn't get a $40 million.
I have to look at
now he was overpaid,
Mahomes.
but
because I don't know, I think Mahomes when he took over the team that first year, didn't they go to the Super Bowl if I'm not mistaken?
Mahomes took a team-friendly deal. He's making.
I'm saying with that first contract though.
I don't think.
I have to check. I got to do the research.
So you're putting him on the level of Mahomes?
No, you said, has anybody come from a rookie deal making whatever $900,000 to making all of a sudden $50 million? I mean, Mahomes was once a rookie. He was on a rookie deal.
Yeah, but when was Mahomes drafted? Is the question. He was drafted way higher than Brock Purdy. So you still have to keep it like Kyle Shanahan is still going to take into consideration Brock Purdy. If he's smart, he is a great franchise quarterback, but he is going to take into consideration, hey, if it's about me just getting a payday, then that's foolish for him. Getting that kind of bump in pay is going to be significant, however it turns out. But making that paper and winning championships and Super Bowls.
But D, would you agree that he has outplayed his contract? So, like, if you're going just by, he can't go from 50 cent to making 50 million. But technically, at this stage, when you look at Brock Purdy, you're not looking, or you can no longer, with the synonymous perspective, say Purdy and his rookie contract. Like right now, he's technically playing for free. He's playing for free, right? Because the money he's making now as a rookie, he's outplayed that. Like that contract is technically a joke, right? But obviously, he's under contract, so they pay him according to the contract, right? Nobody saw what his success was coming like this. But the point I'm trying to make is the argument won't stand if you're talking about there's no way we're going to pay a guy who is making $900,000 and then just think he's going to expect a bump like that. Well, technically he could, because again, he's so badly played.
He didn't expect
the contract he's on. Dak hasn't even really done that. You know what I'm trying to say? If you really think about it, right? I mean, Dak has had success, and Dak, there was a lot of questions with Dak.
Dak was a 4th round draft pick. Anybody, Kirk Cousins, 4th round draft pick. Those guys they made money on, obviously more money than Purdy because he was the last pick in the draft. But I just don't see from a standpoint, fiscally, it does not make sense. The dollars don't make sense for us to then, as good as this team is, to dump all of our resources into a quarterback.
No, I mean, guys might have to restructure contracts, and Purdy would have to restructure contract
Listen,
down the line as well.
We're moving on because what you want to do is you want to use us to beat the Eagles, and then you want to dismantle us. I'm not going for that. Cut it.
No,
I'm not going for that.
Well, listen, but that was something we've been talking about anyway.
That's a classic user. You are a user. He wants us to come in to the link.
I do.
Slap him around, get a Philly cheesesteak to go, head back home, and then you want after that, but you got to pay Brock Purdy $75 million a year. Get out of here. Get out of here. Nah.
Right.
We're not going
America,
for that.
when we do Brooklyn Bears and Ball in the year 2026, we're going to bring up these.
He's going to get paid.
I don't think he's going to get.
But let me tell you what else he's going to have. He's going to have a little bit of hardware. He's going to have a little hardware.
And you know what? And you better. Well, I tell you what. He's going to get $100 million. He's going to be throwing to you and me when he going to make that money.
But the team, he'll get $100 million. 5 years, $100 million.
A year.
They're not going to throw away the franchise. Let me tell you, teams' windows to win are too small. I know that we heard the quarterback, what's his name, in Cincinnati say his window to win is as long as he's playing. That's actually not true. When you have the players around you and you have the chemistry, you have to maximize and seize the moment. And I don't see Kyle Shanahan, because he's the one that's really calling the shots. I don't see Kyle Shanahan saying to himself, I'm going to mortgage the future. Now, they already gave a lot of draft picks, and this is more of the reason that they're going to have to make good on this. Brock Purdy is in a very, very advantageous situation because, of course, he was drafted low. He has an opportunity to get a huge pay bump with performance, as he's been performing greatly. But you got to also realize that the team took a swing on a quarterback and missed. We traded up in the draft. So that should let you know that with those swings, you're not going to be foolish enough to then, once you get a golden goose, to overpay for it, because it affects the rest of the team.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Actually, whoever said that about Joe Burrow, it's right. It's true. Joe Burrow, as long as he's playing, he has an opportunity. Joe Burrow said it. He's right, and I'm gonna tell you why he's right. If you think about it, right, D, every franchise quarterback that has played at a high level as a franchise quarterback, they always have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, as long as you're gonna keep some decent to good players around them. Because why? To be a team that's in contention year in and year out, say over a 10-year period, it starts with the quarterback. Look at the Steelers. The Steelers, as long as Ben Roethlisberger was there, they had a chance to win. It didn't matter, right? You could go back to Peyton Manning. We know Brady. Look at Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They only won one chip, but every year, with Aaron Rodgers, that is. But with every year, they were in contention because of the quarterback. Same thing prior to Aaron Rodgers with Brett Favre. They only got one chip out of Brett Favre. But every year, as long as Brett Favre was there, now he had a plethora of receivers he was throwing to all his career, just like Aaron Rodgers. Just like Purdy's going to have a plethora of receivers he's going to throw to over his career. As long as Purdy is there, if he's playing like how he's playing now and really morphs into that solidified franchise quarterback, the 49ers will always have a chance to win. It starts with the quarterback. If the quarterback, you could friendly deal, that means nothing. You're not winning without a franchise quarterback, nor will you have a chance to be in contention if you don't have the franchise quarterback in place. And the Niners know this, the frustration that they've gone through. Kyle Shanahan, great, but Shanahan knows he can't win without a quarterback. He needs a quarterback to win. As long as you got a good quarterback, you are in contention to win. Same thing with Buffalo. Josh Allen is there. Buffalo is still going to be in contention at AFC East. They're going to always be a pretty good playoff team.
Their window is closing.
No, it won't close because as long as the quarterback is playing well. It's the same thing. You got a franchise quarterback.
Okay, so I had called this at the start of the season. That team is going to blow up at the end of the season. The coach is going to get fired. Diggs is leaving. And yeah, you'll have Josh Allen. You've paid him, so you have to keep him. So if you think that the likes of Gabe Davis, who had an excellent game, by the way, this past Sunday, if you think Gabe Davis is now going to be your number one receiver, and what running game do they have? And then you have Von Miller, who is the same age as me.
Cook is pretty good. Cook is not a bad back. He's actually pretty good. That running back, they just don't run him enough because they like to still use Josh with his legs. But Cook is not a bad back.
He's the upstate New York Tony Pollard. He's not good. He's not good as an every down back. You need a larger back. Him and his brother, the Cook brothers, have done great. They've made a great amount of money as running backs. But that is not a running back that you can say, hey, we have a certain roles in our offense we have locked down. Quarterback, you can say that for the Bills. They have a solidified. And that's where it starts.
Because everybody else is replaceable, D. You can replace.
You.
Right, but those pieces, but you could get pieces. Like, if you think about it, right? Look down through the years with Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh, how many good receivers have they had down through the years when Roethlisberger was there? Running backs that came in and out. If you draft well, you coach guys up, those are spots you can replace. Franchise quarterbacks ain't growing on trees. So, again, as long as you got a quarterback that's there, you're going to be in contention. It's the same thing even with, I hate to say it, but even like with the Eagles, right? You're going to still have a chance with Jalen Hurts, right? I'm talking about more of these younger quarterbacks that are coming up and playing well. Same thing with Mahomes. As long as Mahomes is there, they're going to always have an opportunity. Even with bad receivers that they got, right? They're still in contention. Look at teams like the Raiders. Again, no good team, but no quarterback. That's how you guys work. Good team, middle of the season, y'all are hovering around 500. You make a trade, you get above and beyond, you make a run. But now you guys actually have the quarterback that most people believe will take you over the top, unlike Garoppolo and unlike other guys that even with Kaepernick back in the days with Harbaugh and so forth. But D, I'm telling you, man, your quarterback, those guys can be replaced. The running backs are good. You can always get another receiver. You can.
Thank you, Brian.
There's a lot of more
over lettuce. Legacy over lettuce. That's what we're going to do. Legacy over lettuce. I totally
over
agree.
lettuce. What does he mean by that? I don't understand. What does that mean?
He's smart to say that Brock Purdy, to be considered a great, you have to once again continue. If you have a team around you and you realize now, first of all, from a standpoint,
so you're saying he's going to take below market?
Some things are out of his control. Some things are out of his control. Okay. We can pay him. He'll get a bump in pay. Once you win a Super Bowl, he's going to be
paid. When you say bump and pay, that's like saying you're going from $10 an hour to $12. That's a bump. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe $13 an hour.
I'm talking in terms of NFL standards, right? He's going to get a significant bump in pay, but a team crippling bump, he will not get.
Well, nobody's going to do that. Like, think about it. No team really gives anybody a team crippling pay. Even Mahomes, it's not even. He even had to restructure his contract, right?
He is his team friendly. So, but once again, you're going to the best.
But is he making below? But is he making below? And I got to look at the per annum there on his contract, right?
$45 million. I think it's a 10-year, $450 million, right? So, but my question to you is. Mm-hmm. Tell me who his receivers are. Tell me, like
Rice. That's about the only guy.
Okay,
Rice
so
and MSV
when you compare
a lot of trash, yeah.
When you compare our team, the way it is structured, I'm not saying that it's a plug and play. I'm not saying that at all, and I'm not trying to diminish Brock Purdy's value. He is very valuable to this team, but I think from a standpoint, we would be foolish, even with confetti, even with the champagne and flowing and everybody, with the goggles on, all of that. And I just think that they are not going to cripple themselves based on it's about championships with an S. It's about continuing like you guys. See, this is the thing. I expect you as a Cowboys fan to say that foolishness because
Dak hasn't taken anything that's crippled our team though.
When you could have paid him a lot cheaper, you kicked the can. You kept kicking the can, and you did, and that's okay to do if it equals production, if it equals ultimately winning something. Except NFC East titles, we have loftier goals. We have greater goals than just beating the Eagles, the Giants, and Washington. That's not that's
okay. Let me ask you something.
The division, as it was quoted, the division is the basement, right? We at my church we were talking about excellence is the basement. It's the basement. Okay. It ain't great, right? It's the basement. So us winning the division is the basement. It's the basement. We got that.
Of course.
It's about NFC championship games. It's about Super Bowls. So if we talk about what your team did by not paying Dak and kicking the can we're
okay with Dak's contract. Dak's contract, but Dak's contract is not hurting Dallas. Like we just paid Diggs. Right, we're gonna have money. We'll be able to pay CD.
You can't make moves when you have clearly players that can benefit you.
Why? We drafted for Cooks. We got his salary. We was able to do a 1-year deal with Gilmore for $10 million. Like we brought in pieces. Like Dallas. Like we don't just go run after free agents and just because they're out there and just go ahead and pay them. Like it's got to make sense. You got to think about if they're on a 1 year, if they're an expiring contract, what is it going forward? What do you plan on getting in terms of value if you bring this guy in and you sign him to whatever deal you're going to make? I mean, that's what any GM is going to do.
What is when Dallas acquires a player on a 1-year deal? What is the logic behind a 1-year deal? Typically, a 1-year deal is because we think that we can win now, right?
Correct.
So we want to maximize the person's skill level to add to our team to get us over the hump.
Correct.
Yeah. Getting a stockpile of expiring contracts and then doing nothing with it doesn't say that you guys are cap, specialists. Like,
no, that's not the point I'm making.
The point. We're not going to get people just to get them. But if it makes your team better, then it's worth doing.
Well, and that's what we did. That's why we got a Gilmore and a Cooks, because we already believe we're there right now. So these are guys that are going to help, that we believe are going to try to help us take us over the top. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we got these guys. Most likely Gilmore is not going to be there next year. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to keep Bland on the outside. Diggs is coming back. So, it doesn't make sense. You can still keep Bland on a rookie deal. So why sign Gilmore unless he takes a friendly?
Wait a minute, he set a record. Why not pay him the top? Why not just jump out of the?
It's going to become a problem. Yeah, listen. If Bland plays the way he's playing in next year, then which will be his third season in the league, there's a possibility he might hold out. He could hold out after his third. If he has another 8-9 game interception and takes back some more, pick sixes, then that's the problem of having a good team.
But what is Jerry Jones going to do? You think Jerry Jones is going to bend the knee to that? Or does he, if he's a smart owner, he's going to say, hey, I have to think about the other players that make the team, that makes it or kind of ushers in the fact that you're able to get those interceptions. Every
GM is going to think about that, but at the end of the day, you don't still let good players. You got to work out. Well, but what I'm trying to say to you, because Purdy is a quarterback, right? Look at this, D. Right now, the highest paid quarterbacks per annum, and I want you to honestly tell me you think that a guy like Purdy is not going to come somewhere close to these numbers or want that, right? So Burrow's making the most, right? He's making his average salary is $55 million. Okay.
No, he won't. Mahomes
is $52 million.
He won't come close to that.
Herbert, if he wins a Super Bowl,
he won't come close to it.
$52 million. You got Lamar at $52 million. Now, right, he won't come close to that. $51 million for Jalen Hurts. Number 6 is Russell at $48. Okay. So, we got Murray, who's at $46 Number 8 is Watson at 40. His average is 46. Okay. And then Josh Allen is at 43 million at average salary. And Daniel Jones is at 40 million. You don't think he's gonna come in anywhere between? You don't think
he can win the Super Bowl? He could be the Super Bowl MVP. He will not be a top 10 quarterback pay-wise. He may play-wise, but not pay-wise. They're not going to go from under $1 million to paying him upwards of 40. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
You don't think he's worth more than Daniel Jones? And
worth more, and what a team is smart enough to pay him. Daniel Jones, right? How many?
Oh my goodness.
Daniel Jones. The Giants are
y'all better win. Your window is short. You then if you ain't gonna protect your franchise quarterback, then your window is short. You ain't got your window is real small.
That's what it tells you.
Because the thing is this, D. A lot of other players you can work a lot, and it's not that the quarterbacks aren't gonna restructure their contract so they can get other guys, and they'll do that. Purdy, like every other quarterback, we saw Brady do it for years, right? We see that. But what I'm trying to say is that, but they're not going to come under when you start.
So we can't use Brady. We can't use Brady because Brady once again he played in the. Witchcourt just kind of ripped into the AFC about Brady playing low competition most of his time, but Brady played AFC East, right? And explain to me and tell me who his major players were on that team. I mean, they had a good team, but tell me if he had the likes of a Kittle, CMC.
No, he did not.
He did not. Then. So team structure matters.
Well, he did, but I'm saying, but he's still right. But what I'm trying to tell you that is when you look at the average per annum for these quarterbacks, the top 10 quarterbacks that are making this kind of money.
Right. But you got to put it in. You got to put it in perspective.
You think his agent is going to?
What'd you say?
So you think his agent is going to come in and say, "Okay, we'll be good with $35 million a year"? It's not happening, D. Okay. $35 million a year? That's not going to happen. And remember, the salary cap goes up next year. I think it's next year.
And you know what it's called? You know what it's called? D. It's called franchise tag. It's called franchise tag.
That's now. Oh, the very thing that you blame Jerry Jones for doing, right? Because we had the franchise tag. We had to because of the things that we there was still some uncertainty, but then you also had players you had to pay, right? We had DeMarcus Lawrence we had to pay at the time. We had to give him a contract.
This whole show turned into how to dismantle the 49ers. Listen. I'm actually
trying to bring your reality.
I'm actually pulling for the Eagles
window.
Week 14.
Your window is short.
I'm pulling for the Eagles Week 14. You guys, and if it wasn't for us,
you need us to win.
No.
Yeah, you need us to win.
We don't need you.
We don't need you. If you want that number 1 seed, you're gonna need us to win.
It's not important to us like that. You guys,
who ain't gonna want the number 1 seed? See, that's what you did last week. You and Scrap.
I
got into your emotions, and
we're gonna go on the road.
You picked the
if we have to go on the road, our defense travels well. It doesn't matter to us. You're the one who 5 weeks ago was scared to go to Detroit and play. So please, it's of no consequence
because of the way we was playing. But D, see, this is the same emotion, and you and Scrap went on and picked the Commanders, and you saw what happened. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, all I'm saying to you, America. No, we're gonna move on. But that's all I'm just trying to let America. I'm just trying to let D know that he's gonna run into a problem with Purdy. D thinks that Purdy's gonna take a $20 million a year contract. He's gonna say,
I didn't say
you gotta take one for the team.
I didn't say $20 million. But
how much you think Purdy should be? Okay, let me ask you a question.
I don't know. We'll see.
Purdy wins the Super Bowl. Let's just say hypothetically, Purdy wins a Super Bowl this year, right? And he gets to an NFC Championship or a Super Bowl next year, and plays at a high level, right? Plays at a high level.
Maybe I'm
just setting up a scenario that's likely.
I like that. You're suggesting that when we win the Super Bowl this year, he's going to get paid immediately.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, let me finish the scenario.
So we're on the same page. We're on the same page. He's going to get paid.
Right. No, but I'm speaking about what's going to come in the next couple of years. Because in 2 more years, D, y'all going to have to think about what you're going to do with Purdy if he plays at this level. So that's what I'm saying. If he wins a Super Bowl this year, he gets to a Super Bowl next year, then do you think he's going to take and remember the salary caps are going up?
No.
You think he's going to take $35 million a year?
If I didn't care, he's going to have some hardware. And then he's going to play at a yeah. I'm not.
He's going to make over $50
that.
million a year, D. He's going to make $50 million.
He will not make over.
With a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl appearance at the minimum, he's not going to get $50 million a year. Are you kidding me?
Listen,
D. What world, D? You listen. Oh my God. My God. I wish John Lynch would listen to the show. John Lynch.
He understands. He understands. That's why they're getting extensions too, because he understands. Do not let a player that you do not have to overpay or pay before it's time.
Your quarterback that actually has taken y'all was the only missing piece for the 49ers in the past several years. And it's finally, y'all have gone to quarterback experimental experiences the last 3 years. And you mean
so let me say this. The reason I am saying now that he doesn't have to he's not going to jump to any ridiculous $50 million, because at this point, so far, now by far, he has been the best quarterback that the 49ers have had in quite some time.
Right.
Chemistry wise, the way he plays. But so far, he hasn't done more than Colin Kaepernick, and he hasn't done more than Garoppolo. So we're not going to jump out the window. Once he gets hardware, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, so why are you trying to?
I'm just bringing up I'm bringing up the reality of the inevitability of the fact that you have to sit down with that guy.
You got to watch people. You got to.
So what? You don't think that's a problem, a good problem to have at some point? Or do you want him to fall below the performance of Garoppolo?
Let me tell you what else is a great problem: to continue to have this team fully intact with a quarterback who is very cap friendly, because there is he's going to get his paper. He's going to. So now 2 Super Bowls into it, pay him $50 million a year. A Super Bowl.
It'll be more than that. It'll be more than that by that time. The market have been changed.
All right. So if that's the case with pick 262, how much is? Talk about your team, and you guys are in cap purgatory. We're not.
We're our cap is. That's the very thing we always commend Stephen Jones about. We call him the cap boy.
You guys are cheap, and that's why your team always fizzles out.
We fizzle out because of the play on the field, not to do with the salaries.
That's why you fizzle.
Well, 49ers own us. I always say it. I have no problem saying it. And then when we beat y'all, that's when we know we gonna be good. So that's it.
Okay.
That's our Super Bowl.
We have gone.
I know how long we've been on this. Almost an hour.
On you trying to dismantle the cap and dismantle the 49ers. Yo, listen.
Just this
Cowboy fans
on Sunday. That's all.
Even when they are rooting for us, they're not to be trusted.
Listen, now we don't love no Niners. Now listen, I'm only rooting. That's right. Of course. You think right? Yeah, it's always an incentive behind it now.
So don't ask us for favors. Then we're not going to do any favors. I'm putting this out there.
Going to do us a favor because y'all want to win
because of us. We're not beating the Eagles to help the Cowboys try to win.
Beating them to help us. Of course not.
Y'all you were asking. So please
we
just beat them.
By default, we get a benefit out of it. So that's all. It's all.
Man, I can't
y'all ain't got to do it for us. Win because of Niner pride. What's y'all slogan? You got it better than us. Well, yeah, go with all of that.
Nobody, right?
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about.
All right,
we're going to bypass Jacksonville, Houston, which was a very interesting game. Kansas City versus the Raiders. They got kind of back on track. But let's talk about the game of the week. Buffalo versus Philly.
Yeah, let's get right into that. Absolutely.
Okay, so
Scrap, you still there, Scrap?
I think Scrap is gone. I think Scrap left the building. He couldn't wait long enough. Yeah. I'll say this. I think Philly. I'll say this. Philly, if they play now, coming from behind, you want to pound your chest and cardiac cats, cardiac birds, whatever you want to be. Get behind on the 49ers. Get behind on the 49ers. See, the difference is, and I will say this is the fundamental difference of why if they keep this same model and start slow and kind of give them, forfeit the first half and try to win the second half, the teams that you came back on didn't have a running game. They don't have the running game that we had. Cowboys, they didn't run the ball good. I mean, Pollard, but they didn't have a running game. Of course, Buffalo doesn't have a running game. Get a lead. Let us get a lead. Not let us. When we get the lead, see if you can come back second half. We're going to run the ball down your throat. And if you don't think Debo is going to get, listen, I'm super excited about this game. But let's talk about
I can't wait.
Buffalo.
I can't wait.
Josh Allen played a great game. Great game.
Yeah, he did.
I just think, once again, the lack, and we've been saying this, the lack of a running game is what will prevent them from getting to the next level. Gabe Davis can have all kind of touches. You can throw all kind of thread the needle, 10 seconds left, 5.5 seconds. The fact is that, number one, Coach McDermott is not the coach to get them to the next level. And unfortunately, they're going to be kind of mid-tier in the AFC after this year, because Miami is, of course, Miami, who's taking a page from the 49ers playbook. They're going to be perennial or a playoff team. And I think the Jets with a quarterback is because they have a run game. They're just missing a quarterback. And if Aaron Rodgers gets healthy, I think they're going to be better than the Bills. The Bills are going to blow up because Diggs has already said he wants out of there. Yeah, I think Josh Allen, you are committed to Josh Allen. People are going to be jumping off tables and breaking their back on tables, Bills Mafia, but that's all you're going to have. Unless you invest in a running back who can take the pressure away from Josh Allen, feeling like he has to be the end-all be-all, or when you get a lead, run the ball. Continue to run the ball. Keep them honest, and then open up to the pass. They became one-dimensional. It became Josh Allen-centric, and as a result, with good teams, and the Eagles are a good team. They're 10-1. It don't have to be pretty. It's just not Saturday. It's not college, right? There's no style points. So they learn how to win a game. And when I seen that they could not give them the final blow, I said they're going to wind up blowing this game. And, of course, miscommunication between Josh Allen and Gabe Davis. Who ran the wrong route? Were they expecting Josh Allen let it go? Yeah. It's always a play here and a play there. Their time. The Eagles' time. The lucky charm that they have somewhere clipped to their uniform, it runs out on Sunday. Week 13 is going to be, it's over. And the fact that we're favorites should let you guys know. Because usually how the sports books work is the home team usually gets a field goal. If they're evenly matched, they get a field goal. The fact that they are 3-point, that means that we're a touchdown really better than the Eagles. And it's going to show. It's going to show. And Scrap is back just in time to hear what our take is.
Well, let me say this, though. The thing that was interesting to me with Buffalo, and you're right, a running game definitely neutralizes everything, and it definitely, I think, puts teams over the top. If you get the Eagles in that precarious situation like they've been in the past several weeks and been able to still find a way to win, you got to be able to run the ball. But what was disturbing to me was the defense they was in. On the final drive of regulation, why were they playing such soft coverage, knowing that the Eagles only needed a field goal? I'm sitting there wondering, like, what are y'all doing? You're giving them everything underneath, and its coverage was so soft that you can recall Devontae Smith get a 10-yard here, 12 yards here. But I mean, like, what kind of? I mean, just it's crazy, like how much cushion you was giving these guys, knowing they only needed a field goal. So I didn't understand, and they had a lot of time. It was over a minute left to play, and they had some timeouts.
And Buffalo wasn't aggressive going into the half because I think they had an opportunity to at least try to get some chunk yards, to maybe get a field goal or something. And I think they
and they kind of just needed a little ball. I don't know. I wasn't too crazy. I wasn't.
But I mean, why not go for it?
But I think it was still that because the Eagles just scored. I think if my memory serves correct, I don't remember the full sequence of that first half before in the latter minutes of that second quarter. But I agree. They still have the ability to do that because against that secondary, you could probably go down the field with 20 seconds with no timeouts and go 80 yards on them. As trash as they are. And that's the thing again. So you look at that, and then the option, with the option route. And I hate the option route. That's why Dak and CD never could get on the same page last year. And that's why Dak had all these interceptions. And that's the thing I hated. But in that case right there, you got Gabe going into the corner when he should have went post, right? But it's again on way which way that the receiver wants to do usually when there's a safety there. But he opts to go to take the route that would, not that Josh can't make that throw because he can, but why not just run? You see, you had clear coverage. There was nobody there over the top. Just go right to the post and it's over. But I hate the option routes. I hate those things because it's a split-second thing where the quarterback and the receiver got to be on the same page in that moment in terms of which option they're going to choose. And see, and the problem made that so frustrating. It's not like Josh was under pressure on that throw. He had a lot of time on that throw.
Yeah, time.
So he just went on and released it thinking Gabe was going to go post, and Gabe went the other way. Clearly, and Bradbury again, Mr. Toast with butter, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Trash Man, hefty with the lining, extra lining in it. He is so trash. That would have ended it all right there. But I felt like, again, I just didn't like the defenses that they were in, even on the final drive in the overtime for the Eagles that they had.
And you got to think this.
Jalen just gashed him like that, man. Keep discipline in the gap. You know he's going to run the ball at this point. You can see that's what they were trying to do.
Right. That was just, I mean.
Yeah.
You got to say this. They went into overtime with the Bills, and Diggs didn't even have a good game. He wasn't really. So, like, your number one receiver doesn't have a great game, and you still go to overtime. And listen, shouts out to them. Listen, you got to call it.
It's going to end this week, though. It's going to end this week. No, I definitely got the Niners winning this game.
It's going to end royally, and I cannot wait, because when we have Scrap on the show, our point predictions, we're going to actually post those. We're putting all of that up with our scores, and then we're going to recap. We're going to dissect for the next 2 weeks. The Eagles playing the Niners and the Eagles playing the Cowboys. We're going to discuss that.
It's going to be.
And you know, we got. Listen, you got to know that this game was circled on the calendar for the night. I don't want to talk about it. And so I'll say this. Devontae Smith, who I actually have on my fantasy team, he is really stepping in, because AJ Brown, it seems like teams are figuring out some way, shape, or form how to take him away. So they're kind of taking him away. That whole 5 weeks in a row, 125 and all that, that's kind of coming to an end.
Yeah, that Ben came to an end. Dallas put that to an end a couple of weeks back. That was he went in that game nothing, trash.
They're taking him away from actually being a viable receiver. I mean, he's getting some here and there, or there's overthrows, or what we got to do is get him frustrated. That's all. Frustrate him, take him away, and when he starts chirping, let him. He's gonna be chewing his ear out on the sideline. That's where we want them. And so, just as much, I'll say this: just as much as going into Week 13, they think that the Eagles, the 49ers are like going to play outside of themselves because they have something to prove. I know Scrap has said that before. Brock and the rest of them are going to try to overcompensate or try to play outside themselves to prove that what should have happened last year. We're going to play within our system. We're going to play, and when we CMC, I can only imagine the game he's going to have. I can only imagine what Debo's going to do. And talk about torturable corners. Brandon Ayuk is going to have a game of the ages. Dallas Goedert missing. And if you better hope, Eagle fans, you got Lane Johnson. You don't have Lane Johnson. Oh, man. But I'm going back into Week 13, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk.
You're trying to save a little something, because we got to get.
No, I got material. I got material,
right?
But I think Buffalo. I think their biggest thing is now it's going to be interesting. Maybe two teams come out of the AFC North now. AFC South.
AFC. Oh yeah, between Houston
and Jacksonville. Because I thought it was going to be AFC North, and it looked like it was going to be AFC North, with the Steelers, Cleveland, and also Cincinnati. But Cincinnati's done. They're dead.
Cincinnati done. Yeah, and this kid ain't
plucked up twice. They're done. They're done.
Plucked up twice.
Yeah, they're finished. And then
they're done.
We'll see what happens with unfortunately, we just have to bring this up. Breaking news: Jonathan Taylor, he's injured, and they're saying he's out for 2 weeks, and it may be longer. So I mean, he just had an awesome game, 2 touchdowns, 91 yards rushing. Excellent game. But now he's hurt. I think he has some kind of thumb injury. He might require surgery. So I think the AFC South is open. Potentially 2 teams will come out of there. AFC North outside chance that of course you got the Ravens. They're clear cut. They're taking it. So we'll see what happens. But Buffalo is now teetering. They're kind of teetering on the Cincinnati kind of train, where they may not make the playoffs. They really might not.
Well, they may not, but it's funny. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs next week for some crazy reason. I think something crazy is going to happen there. I think something crazy. Chiefs are going to obviously get into the playoffs. I think you're going to stumble a little bit. I don't think we're going to see the Chiefs look like they're back, but they did beat a good defensive team, the Raiders. They were down by 14. Obviously, Raiders jumped on them early, but I don't know. I kind of Buffalo's just that kind of team, man. The games that you think they'll win, they don't, and the games that you think they'll lose, they win. And I don't know. I mean, that was a bad loss for them against the Eagles. They really needed that. They needed that win in the worst way. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they.
Well, it's going to be interesting if how the Chiefs potentially play if they don't have home field.
Yeah.
And if the AFC doesn't go through Arrowhead, maybe if it goes through Baltimore, because I think right now Baltimore is my pick for the AFC. I think they're the best team. I know they only, they didn't put up, it wasn't anything impressive, but once again, Lamar Jackson is not even really running. That is a component that he can open up, and that changes a lot. He's not even tapping into his running ability. He's trying more so to be a pocket passer. Of course, Likely, who is the backup to Mark Andrews, he looked good. He's athletic. So the tight end, if there's not there's going to be a drop off from Mark Andrews to Isaiah Likely, but if he gets some of that as a safety net and then opens up the run, it's going to be interesting. Playing in Arrowhead and playing in Baltimore, 2 different things. That the fan base, because they have a strong fan base and they have a good crowd. It's not like playing the Chargers or a team, Atlanta team that really doesn't have any significant fan base. They they wear the jerseys and they match up outfits and make sure the fit is going, but that's it. Those teams like that I don't consider to have real fan bases. Just because you like the colors of your team, that's not a real fan base. So it's going to be interesting. I think Buffalo, they're going to need to actually pretty much win out to make it. They're not going to win, AFC East. I think pretty much it's safe to say that the Dolphins have it. Don't let Sam Howell torch them, though. I think they play Washington next, right? Don't get torched by Sam
Miami,
Howell.
yeah.
They play Washington,
Miami
right?
Plays Washington, yep.
Yeah, don't get torched by Sam Howell. He already put up 300 on the Cowboys. Don't get torched.
Yep, right on. Yeah, right. Well, first one to do that this year. 300 on the nose, but it was garbage point. It was garbage yards, though.
Hey, it's 300, right? If that's the case, how many garbage points did the Cowboys get? They were just piling on at that point, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, that kind of works.
That doesn't take away from the 45-10, right? You're not going to start deducting for garbage points to real points, right?
I agree. No, you're right.
All right, then. So I got it.
All right, no, but, just as long as you translate that to 49er games as well. That's all. That's all I say.
You got the Seahawks. You better handle. You better not let Geno write back.
That game.
If Geno writes back, I'm telling you.
Geno writes.
Yo, if Geno writes back, I'm telling you, it's gonna. Week 13 show is going to be, and you play Thursday, right?
We play this Thursday, yeah.
Oh man,
after tomorrow, man.
And you know what's interesting is, you'll have a little extended rest when you play
Yeah, we get ready to play the
Eagles,
Eagles.
and we have a little extended. We got an extra 3 days because we played on Thanksgiving. So the Eagles are going to get some fresh. They're going to get a fresh perspective. They're going to understand where they fall in the pecking order in the NFC. I think these next 2 weeks of football is going to tell us mostly, or should tell us everything we need to know about where these teams stand. It's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be
I think
really
these 2 weeks will let us all know where everybody's at. Dallas will find out what kind of team they really are over these next 4 weeks. And, you got the Eagles and 49ers, obviously the two best teams in the NFC East. And you're going to see really which team is going to really emerge, right? And in people's eyes, they'll be able to say, okay, this is the team now. You know what I mean? You know, there's still more football left after next week, but still, that's the team where you're going to see some separation in, depending upon how they win as well. So there's a lot. And of course, Dallas and the Eagles fighting for the NFC East. So there's divisional implication there. And I think, this is a great.
But you know what's crazy? The season is flying by. I mean, it's almost over.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like that to me, though. It feels like every week it's just.
It could be because it could be some residual effects of what we did to you guys, but where you still you're just your equilibrium and
I'm gonna tell you why. No, we're equilibrium, right? But I'm gonna tell you really what it is for me. Why I feel like the season is going slow for me, because I could be wrong for doing this, but I'm kind of bypassing the season, right? It's the 49ers for me. I want to get into the playoffs to play the 40, and it's like hurry up already. Can we hurry up? It's not that I'm in this stretch right now that we've got to be on these next 4 games. I'm not overlooking these next 4 games, but it feels like it's been forever for us to get to this point, and then we're going to have to see the 49ers. Yo, D, I'm a realist, man. That's all. Listen,
and I appreciate that.
I'm a realist. I'm gonna get on you with your Purdy contract and Trash Ward and everybody else. I'm gonna get on your Niners. I'm not gonna sit here and show y'all love. I ain't gonna do that. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna show you love, if you know what I mean. The Niners are the team. They're the best team in the NFC, and in my opinion, they're the best team in the NFL. I think that's the team to beat.
That makes 2 of us. I believe that. I think.
No, yeah, you should. You should believe that. You should believe. I think Dallas is either 2A, 2B, just depends. But we did lose to the Eagles, and they do have a better record. So, I mean, by default, they're second best team in the NFC, and that has to change. And the only way that's going to change is Dallas has to win. We've got to beat them, and we got to win some games, and then and we see what happens after that. But when the playoffs start, whatever happened and who ended up where in terms of the better record between the 3 of us, it won't matter, right? It's not at that point. It won't matter, right?
It's all postseason at that point.
It's all postseason.
It's all to see.
Right. Other than that, it's all
we do in the postseason.
Flesh at that point, right?
It's all flesh, right? I'm standing. I'm leaning in because.
Oh, you got the sun,
right?
Yeah.
The sun.
That's the base sun. Just look at that as the base. That sun is going to hit. FedEx, whatever field, where they play at,
Link,
the Eagles,
Lincoln,
Links.
It's going to be a hot link. That's all.
Hot link.
Everybody's going to have a hot link on their way home. Like, yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for the fun.
Yeah, I want y'all to beat them so. Yo, D, I was so angry. I was so angry that the Eagles won that game, son. You had no idea, man. It felt like Dallas lost. That's how bad. I was so angry, man. And then we got Scrap in the mix too. I don't want to. We got to get Scrap. Every time Scrap is on the show, he's coming up as a winner, man. We got to have him, and we got to see him as a loser on one of these shows.
No, he is. Listen. I'm telling you, man. Saturday show. Everyone tune in Saturday. We have it's going to be an action-packed show.
Yeah, that game.
Everybody's going to bring their best.
I'm gonna be in the hotel room
analysis.
Watching that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna bring their best analysis on Saturday.
Yo, listen. I'm gonna be in DC all next week. So, and I leave out on Sunday. So I'm gonna be on my phone. We do the show on Monday. All right.
Okay.
I'm not missing that show. So I'm gonna just come in on my phone like Corey does, and that's it. And I'm gonna just come in there and we gonna get it in, and it's gonna be
absolutely. Now,
yeah.
If the Seahawks beat you guys, that is going to be Saturday's show is gonna be
Yeah, I thought you were getting ready to wrap up the show.
No. I'm just saying because you guys play Thursday. That's why we won't.
No.
Talk about
yeah, we'll
it
have another
until,
show before then. Yeah.
So if man,
right.
don't let the
You're
Seahawks. I'm telling you. If Gino decides to write back, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Because we prior to and we'll wrap up. Prior to week 12, DK Metcalf said we only have Fred Warner and Bosa, I think he said. I don't know. I can't name another player. DK Metcalf.
Oh, that's what he said?
All of the muscles from the crown of his head to the sole of his feet was shut down. He had nothing. Shut down. He had the Dennis Rodman of football was shut down. Piercings and all. Skittles, all I eat is candy and play. All of that was shut down.
Oh my goodness.
If he didn't know, he knows now. So
yeah, that
if he
Dallas
gets
is favored
off
by
on
9 points too.
Really?
Yeah, we're favored by 9.
And you're playing in Dallas?
Yeah, we're in Dallas. Our next 3 games in Dallas. Well, we play Washington and Dallas.
You guys. They want
and then
you
Seattle.
Guys
Yeah, but then we got to go on the road, bro. The end of this in the December and January, man.
Who you play?
We in the road. We got. Remember, we got Washington back on the road. We got Miami on the road, and we got Buffalo on the road.
Okay.
So yeah. So no, they ain't do us no favors. They gave us a little love right here, but trust me, they get us back on the back end. You know what I'm saying?
So we gotta have Corey on the show for Miami.
For Miami and Dallas. Oh yeah.
That's gonna be a good one.
Be good. Yeah, we gotta have more. Yeah, definitely. So it's like everybody's playing, right? Scrap played, Corey. You and I played. You and Scrap played, and you haven't played Corey this year. You haven't played. So
you
got played last year.
Last year, if we have to recap, last year is when Brock Purdy emerged, and the rest is history. The rest is history.
That's why he's gonna want $60 million a year, because Donald Cornelius, first time he saw if he played. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's worth $60 million. You know what I'm saying? I gave him something. He's gonna tell little Donald. He's gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? Your Donald's grandchildren. I saw this man play. It was me and your uncle Rodney, and another guy that looks like him, Corey. That's
right.
You know what I'm saying? And we watched Purdy come in at halftime and win. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Yeah, but I hope we win, D. I'm praying, brother. So we'll see, man. I'm a little nervous, guy. I'm nervous. This is the first of some tough competition that's coming in Seattle. I don't care. I know they lost 3 of their last 4, but they're still
wait a minute.
They're still a viable team.
So now Seattle's a good team, because you said we won't go into it. You were saying Seattle's trash, and I didn't say Seattle's trash. I mean, we make teams look like trash. You're right. I agree with that. We made the Jaguars look like trash, and we made Seattle look like trash. But then when you play them, they're really good teams.
I'll say this real quick.
NFL quality team.
Not an NFL quality team, but we don't see them often, right? And so Seattle is a team that scares me because we don't play them often.
You're at home, though. So, it doesn't matter.
Well, you're not against the 12. We got 13. We won 13 in a row at home, dating back from last year. So we've been rocking. But
don't let that end.
Yeah, don't let that end. Right. But my only concern, see, the reason why I say with your team when you play the Seattle Seahawks, I'm not saying that they're a bad team, but I'm not putting them up there as a team of quality because y'all pretty much own them. In my opinion, you know them, you play them twice a year, you beat them. So it's not really, you know what I'm trying to say? It don't really, in comparison to who y'all are, the Seahawks is really not it's not a quality win when y'all beat them. You know what I mean? Now for Dallas, it might be.
I just had an epiphany, and then we can wrap the show.
Okay. All right.
The 49ers play the Eagles. We beat the Eagles convincingly. Seattle plays Dallas and beats Dallas.
Oh,
and the Eagles and the Cowboys play each other coming off of upsets. That's good. I like that.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I need us to continue this win streak.
I need that, Dana. I need
that, Dana.
I need that, Dana. I need that.
Shout out to Dana. I need that, Dana.
Shout out to Dana.
I need that. Right. But man.
No, that might be. No, hey, listen.
No, I don't want that. I don't need that at all in my life. No. I need us to handle business.
That might be one of those. Hey, listen.
Yeah, that might be a Don conspiracy. That's it's one of your Don epiphanies.
That'd be interesting. We'll see how that plays out, man.
Well, it's gonna play out the way it's supposed to play out with us beating Seattle, and then both teams coming in there. But the Eagles will be coming off a loss, and then the talk will be now they got to play Dallas, and they're kind of reeling, and we'll see. So the Eagles are gonna lose 2 in a row because they need a losing streak, son. Come on, you gotta get that L streak going, son. Everybody needs an L streak. You get your losing streak. Y'all had y'all's, so they're gonna get theirs now. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's all good. So,
but in any case, man, shout out to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Appreciate it.
Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. I've said this countless times. All of the music that you hear playing in the back so melodiously is original tracks. We have our own beat maker, hit maker. Forget whatever, Young Berg, whatever it is. We have a hit maker. This dude makes music for NBA TV, First Take, you name it, for movies on Netflix and
facts.
I don't think he does Tubi. I mean, like I can do a Tubi beat. You know
do a Tubi.
So he's up there. He's an upper echelon beat maker. Infinite Audio. So check them out, man. Good music, great music, and not good, great
music. And once again,
we get all of the prime choices. Like he says, yo,
facts.
What do you want to do with this, man? And we go through the catalog. And say, yeah, you can send that to Stephen A. You can send that to Malika Andrews and the NBA Today team. We'll take let them get what is on the cutting room floor. But shout outs to Infinite Audio once again. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We've been getting we've posted some reels, and I mean, listen, the Eagle fans have become extremely hostile.
Oh, that's how they are. That's
hostile.
How they move.
Now, if you weren't like, there should be a certain level of calm when you know you're a superior team. If you are a superior team, there shouldn't be all this angst and anger and when doves cry and birds and all this stuff and stepping on heads and listen, it's going to be settled on the field.
Yeah,
Week 13 is going to be for the books, man. And so I'm super excited about that. But once again, join us for our next show. Our next show will be Saturday. Usually I don't say when the show is, but Saturday we locked in. We got a special guest. He's not a special guest. He is our third co-host. Scrap in the building. Eagles aficionado. He's going to discuss all things Philadelphia. And then he's going to, on the post show, explain why they lost. But, in any case, once again, thanks for joining us. Until next time, peace.